Here's your wrestling news for January 27th, 2021. And your headlines for today include why Edge announced Royal Rumble entry during WWE Raw, why WWE is announcing key Royal Rumble spots in unique way this year, Kofi Kingston's 11-year Royal Rumble streak will be ending this year, Nia Jax responds to fan criticism about her being unsafe in the ring, uncertainty within WWE regarding John Cena's WrestleMania program, AEW is not signing Ryback, WWE considering scary finish to the men's Royal Rumble match, Ronda Rousey comments on being listed in WWE Royal Rumble odds, why WWE staff are having a difficult time getting through to Vince McMahon, WrestleMania 37 will reportedly be a parade of former stars, why WWE nixed television debut of Vince McMahon's brother Rod, and more. We're kicking off today with news from the Royal Rumble, as this month's pay-per-view has had more than its fair share of awkward announcements recently. On Raw, Edge returned via video promo to declare himself for the Rumble match, and though it's great to hear he's fully recovered, the fact that WWE confirmed he'll return has been strange. After all, it was only a year ago that Edge got one of the biggest pops in recent memory when he returned unannounced during the Men's Rumble match. According to Fightful, there is a reason for this lack of surprise, and WWE announced Edge's return in advance because no fans will be at the Rumble. It's believed that had fans been there, the WWE would have held off on announcing him, so that his return would have gotten a huge surprise pop. But with the show taking place in the Thunderdome, the company felt there was no reason to keep him secret. This follows on from reports that WWE were adamant that the Rumble have live fans in attendance, but ultimately decided tearing down the Thunderdome for the Rumble and rebuilding it for the next night's Raw was too much hassle. Even with his return announced, Edge's return will be great to see, especially as this was something fans thought was impossible just a few years ago. Speaking of the Rated R Superstar, we mentioned earlier that Edge announced his return during a video promo, which took place in a very interesting location. With a ring in the background of his promo, many fans assumed that this promo was recorded earlier in the day at the Thunderdome, but that isn't the case. According to PW Insider, the Hall of Famer was nowhere near Tropicana Field or any other WWE location for the promo, and the video was filmed in the ring he keeps on his private property in North Carolina. It was in 2010 that Edge returned from an injury to win that year's Rumble match, and the Rated R Superstar will be hoping lightning strikes twice in just a few days. Edge's return isn't the only Rumble surprise that's been already announced, as it's been revealed that the dreaded number 1 and 2 spots, as well as the coveted number 30 spot, will be announced later this week on WWE Backstage. In that same report from Fightful, it was revealed that this announcement is simply due to ratings, as WWE and Fox want to do a good viewership number ahead of the Rumble pay-per-view. Even with these spoilers, the Rumble match is full of surprises, and with Vince McMahon's desire to get as many people watching on the road to WrestleMania, you can't count anything out. More Rumble news, as this year's show will make history with an 11-year streak set to be broken. On Raw, it was confirmed that Mustafa Ali will be replacing Kofi Kingston in this year's Men's Royal Rumble match, and it'll mark Kofi's first time missing a Rumble since he debuted on the main roster all the way back in 2008. Kingston's first Rumble match was in 2009, and after 11 straight years, the former world champion will have his impressive streak broken. This also means that we won't be seeing any exciting near elimination from the former WWE champion, though WWE could give this spot to someone else. Though Kofi will have his streak broken, Dolph Ziggler also has 11 straight years of Rumble appearances, and this year will be his 12th consecutive year. This means the show-off will be inching closer to breaking Kane's 13-year record in Rumble matches, and we'll have to see how Ziggler, Ali, and the rest fare this year without Kingston involved. Over to Raw now, and this week's show saw a rough-looking chokeslam on Dana Brooke delivered by Nia Jax. Though Brooke was reported to be 100% fine after the match, that didn't stop fans from once again calling out Jax as unsafe, and the former Raw Women's Champion has responded. Seeing a video of the spot, Jax mocked what she called a thread of whiners, adding, "Love to see it." When another fan argued that Jax's dangerous spots were a weekly occurrence on Raw, the Irresistible Force said, "Glad to see I'm still living rent-free in all of you weak losers' heads." It's worth reiterating that Brooke was 100% fine after this week's show, and though we doubt this fact will stop fans from calling Jax dangerous, the former women's champion clearly doesn't care what they have to say. We're looking ahead to WrestleMania now, as we previously reported that John Cena is a lock for this April's event in what'll be his 18th consecutive appearance at the Show of Shows. Though we know that Cena will be at this year's event, it turns out that this is all anyone knows, as there are no plans for the 16-time world champion at this time. When Ringside News asked a source in WWE's writing team what the plan is, they were told, "I don't even think Cena knows." If Cena does wrestle, it'll be his first match since WrestleMania 36 last year, where he came up short against The Fiend in the Firefly Funhouse. With that said, it's entirely possible WWE could give him a hosting role instead, or even have an in-ring segment like he had at WrestleMania 35. Another member of WWE's writing team revealed that there's no matches definitively planned for WrestleMania 37, as WWE are cutting it pretty close, as the show is just a couple months away. With 2 nights to fill, WWE will need a lot of matches, segments, and stars for WrestleMania 37, but at this time, nobody knows what's going on. Now, former superstar Ryback recently made headlines when he declared he was going to sign with AEW, a statement that made Mark Henry warn the company not to work with the big guy. It now seems that Ryback's comment may have been nothing more than wishful thinking, as according to Dave Meltzer, there's no plans in AEW to sign the former Intercontinental Champion. It's unclear if AEW's decision not to work with him is due to Henry's comments, but it's far more likely that there were never plans for Ryback to come to AEW. In addition to claiming that WWE is illegally suppressing his social media profiles, Ryback has said he talked to lawyers about taking legal action against the world's strongest man for slander, so it seems he's going to be plenty busy even without an AEW contract. Back to WWE, and this year's Royal Rumble will be unlike any other year's show, as it'll take place without live fans and inside the Thunderdome. Given that the show will be filmed without a live crowd, it does give WWE many options for how they want the show to go, and one possible finish being considered is terrifying. That's according to WrestleVotes, who spoke to one of their sources within the company, who told them, "There's a finish that scares the death out of me, and it's legitimately getting heavy consideration." Scary in this context could mean a number of things, as this finish could involve The Fiend and Alexa Bliss, who've been terrorizing the Raw roster in recent months. It could also mean something that's dangerous, such as a stunt that could legitimately injure a superstar, or the something scary could be something that the source knows fans won't like. If that's the case, the scary finish for the Rumble pay-per-view could see Goldberg celebrating as the new WWE champion, and we'll just have to wait and see if WWE uses this scary finish and what exactly it is. One name that hasn't been announced for this year's Rumble pay-per-view is Ronda Rousey, but that hasn't stopped sites from including her in the betting odds for the Women's Rumble match. One betting site, OddsShark, even has Rousey as their second favorite to win the Women's Rumble match, only behind NXT's Rhea Ripley, whilst Rousey's fellow MMA horsewoman Shayna Baszler takes their third top spot. On Twitter, Rousey addressed the rumors of a Rumble return, saying, "Best way to make a profit since r/Wall Street Bets did that stuff with GameStop I don't understand." Though this does seem like Rousey will be returning this Sunday, it's just as likely that she's teasing fans with a return that isn't happening. And since her last appearance at WrestleMania 35, where she suffered her first WWE loss to Becky Lynch in the main event, there's been no shortage of rumors regarding her return. WWE have always remained adamant that Rousey will return when the time is right, but with her contract set to expire on April 10th, which coincidentally will be night 1 of WrestleMania 37, we'll have to see if this Sunday is the right time for the baddest woman on the planet. Of course, this being Vince McMahon's company, plans for a Ronda Rousey return, much like all plans, could change at a moment's notice, and the chairman of the board isn't making things any easier. When Ringside News asked about the current creative process and being in contact with the boss, one tenured member of the creative team said that the current flow of information is the worst in company history, adding, "I mean it!" The problem reportedly is that Bruce Pritchard has become the ultimate gatekeeper for Vince McMahon, blocking out any opinions either he doesn't want to deal with or he feels Vince won't want to hear. There are a select few that Vince will still speak to directly, namely Triple H, Stephanie McMahon, Kevin Dunn, Roman Reigns, and Paul Heyman, Daniel Bryan, and John Cena. As for anyone else who wishes to speak to the chairman, they have to try their luck with Pritchard first. Stories like these explain why WWE has been so chaotic lately, with no matches confirmed yet for WrestleMania 37 just a couple months away from the show, and unless something changes dramatically, expect even more of these stories of chaos and confusion backstage to come out. Speaking of WrestleMania, we previously reported that WWE are locked in to bring back John Cena and Goldberg for this year's two-day event, and are trying to get The Rock, whilst The Undertaker's status is unknown. Now, fans should get ready for more blasts from the past, according to a source in WWE who told Sportskeeda that this year's card will have even more veteran superstars. The reasoning behind this is that older and established superstars do better in terms of fan recognition and merch sales than newer talent, which explains WWE's decision to dig Goldberg up for the Royal Rumble. Their source described this year's two-day WrestleMania as being, quote, a parade of former stars who will put their brand of acceptance on the new generation. When speaking about which names will show up, the source mentioned John Cena, Stone Cold Steve Austin, Hulk Hogan, Scott Hall, and Kevin Nash as all likely names expected to show up in Tampa, Florida this April. WrestleMania 37 will be WWE's first show in over a year with live fans in attendance, and whilst having names from the past will help boost merch sales, the company needs to stop relying on older stars when they're in need of a viewership boost. And we're ending today with news of Rod McMahon, the recently departed brother of Vince McMahon, who died aged 77. Passing away on January 20th, the fact that the chairman had a brother at all was news to many fans, as Rod was never part of WWE TV, but that almost wasn't the case. During Wrestling Observer Live, Brian Alvarez noted that Rod nearly made it to TV in 2007 during the storyline which saw Vince McMahon's limousine blow up on the June 11, 2007 Raw, presumably killing the WWE chairman. Alvarez explained, Rod was going to be on the following show because they were going to do a funeral for Vince McMahon. Instead, Chris Benoit killed his family and they scrapped the show. Rod never appeared. This June will mark 14 years since the Benoit tragedy that nixed Vince McMahon's on-screen demise, but it also nixed the debut of Vince's brother Rod as well.